Good morning and welcome to Coffee Talk. I posted a video last night of Charlie. I've been doing research on the stranger danger, and it says that when they're young, you need to revisit it not so frequently that it becomes playful, but frequent enough that they don't forget. So they recommend once or twice a month. And so I try to explain to Charlie that not all strangers are bad because people love her. So when we're out, they come up to her and say, oh, Charlie, I see your videos. Keep in mind, Charlie doesn't understand what Facebook is. She doesn't know that these videos are posted for you guys to see. She's 4. Okay, my kids don't get on, they don't have a computer. They don't know what Jersey Belle is. I know it's hard for people to understand. How could you have a television show and your kids don't know? They don't. Right now they are 6, 6, and 4. Bravo is not appropriate for them. So they don't know what Jersey Belle is. They've never seen it. They don't know what Facebook is in any capacity. So I try to protect them. Don't get me wrong. Charlie's very open when people come up and say that they love her, but she doesn't understand why. But anyway, I'm digressing. I want to go to the comments that people made on the video last night because I think it's very important that we talk about. First of all, let me just address Charlie's fingers. Some of you are, tore up about the fact that Charlie still sucks her fingers. Charlie turned 4 in November. We just left the dentist's office last week when my mom was here, actually, and we have a wonderful pediatric dentist, Dr. Roner, here in town, who's such a doll. And Max sucks his thumb and Charlie sucks her fingers, and she talked to me about it, and we have a plan. But I want everybody to know that here's my confession. Listen, I sucked my thumb till I was 20. 20! I sucked my thumb through boyfriends. I sucked my thumb through high school. I sucked my thumb through college. I sucked my thumb for so long that the running joke was Jamie's going to get married and walk down the aisle sucking her thumb. I eventually had to get my tongue pierced in Baltimore, where I went to college, to stop sucking my thumb because I couldn't do it myself. You love me anyway. Michael loves me anyway. My teeth are not perfect. Okay, I have an overbite. You see that overbite? I've thought about getting braces, but my sister Meredith has convinced me that my buck teeth give me bigger lips. So now I just walk around with buck teeth, hoping that it looks like I have lip injections. Anyway, my kids will be fine. We will work out the finger sucking thing eventually, or Charlie will one day get her tongue pierced and then stop sucking her fingers. But more importantly, I want to talk about, if you've made it to this point in the video, I want to talk about the points that were made in the comments about stranger danger. Somebody brought up a very good point. My children are more likely to come in contact with someone they know that intends to hurt them than someone they do not. The likelihood that, well, first of all, the likelihood that anything like that will happen to my children, I would like to think is nil because I watch them like a hawk, but my mother also watched me like a hawk. And when I was in 4th grade, I had a terrible experience at a sleepover. There is nothing my mother could have done to prevent that situation. It is to no fault of her in any capacity. But it was someone that I knew. Someone that we knew enough that my mother actually drove me to that home and left me in their care and then picked me up the next morning and drove me back. My mother is a lunatic when it comes to her children. She was raised in Manhattan, raised her kids in Jersey, and she is 15 times tougher than the old Jaime. Believe me when I tell you, if she knew, she would have burnt that whole place to the ground. There was nothing she could have done. I was aware of stranger danger. We had a code word. I used it at Hebrew school when someone tried to take me home. My point is that there are situations in this world that are beyond our control. There are always going to be puddles in our path. We decide what we do with those puddles. I decided that for me, I was not going to allow that situation to affect the journey I was on. I was not going to allow it to destroy me in any way. Although I do agree with the fact that there is shame and secrecy. The fact that I don't talk about it, the fact that I don't maybe deal with it properly, I don't really know what the words are. I think it probably comes from the fact that I feel shameful about what happened, even though I know it wasn't my fault. But I also know that I am now a mother. And when Michael and I were talking about having children, I explained to him that I did not want any of our children to ever have sleepovers. He didn't argue with me. He said, I'm not a woman. I'm sure you have a reason. Our children won't have sleepovers. Olivia is getting to the age now where she wants to sleep over people's houses, and it terrifies me. I'm not a victim. I'm not somebody who is a product of what has happened to me. I don't dwell on things that I have experienced, but I am overly cautious when it comes to my children. I love my friends, the people that I have surrounded myself with here. And I would like to believe that nobody would ever bring harm to my children, but because I have lived it, I know better. And when you know better, you do better. So it's an interesting situation to be in, you know? I know I'm not alone in this. And I also know that it is terrifying to me that statistically my children are more likely to be harmed by someone who knows them than someone who doesn't. And I'm teaching them a code word for strangers, but I have no idea how to teach them a code word for someone they know. Blech. It is an awful thought. Blech. Anyway, I love you. Have a great day.